Totally forgot I left this thing on. Shut this off for a sec. Can you believe my wife calls this thing a witching brew? She hears this thing going, she's like, what are you making over there? Freaking potions and stuff? But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. Let me show you guys what's in here, because we're going to need these for this install. We're trying to clean up the bolts, fellas, for the chassis, aka the body. And we figured we'd run them in here, get them cleaned up a little bit, get rid of that old gunk and grease and stuff like that, huh? That should work out pretty nice. Yeah, we're gonna need those. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit, but man, trust me, we have been working. Plus, we're waiting. We're really just waiting on a bunch of stuff. But we got the cab back today. I should say last night. I picked it up from the paint shop. We got the firewall done. I'm gonna show you guys. Super excited about that. But what that allows us to do is actually chassis. It allows us to actually mount the cab on the frame today. That's the goal today, along with new body bushings. But we're probably gonna end up pulling that thing back off as well, because I haven't done the bottom of the truck, just because really I don't know if that trans is gonna fit, and we need to make sure that we don't need to make any modifications to the tunnel before we undercoat the bottom of the cab. But today we can at least mount the chassis onto the cab, or vice versa, and have that ready to go. So when we get the motor and transmission from Blueprint, we can make sure and verify that the 8HP70 will fit with that trans tunnel. But we got to move this thing. But also, let me show you what we got. Also got some brand new bushings, body mount bushings from Energy Suspension, of course. We're going to be mocking these up. I'll kind of show you guys where these things are going to land at and what to look for. But I will also link the part number in the description below, or a link or something like that. So if you guys are interested for your guys' C10, we can definitely do that, help you guys out there. But I need to move that frame. That's going to be a pain in the butt.
Did you guys know Holley has a tax baller season sale? That's right, the IRS sale they call it. As a matter of fact, it is going on February 16th all the way to the end of March, going on. So make sure you guys check it out, because they have sales on intake manifolds, AFR gauges, sniper kits, accessory drive kits, just like the one we have on the Chevelle. The mid-mount accessory drive kit is absolutely amazing. But you guys got to check it out. Tax baller season sale going on right now. Check it out at holley.com. Let's get back into the video.
Went ahead and actually laid all the bushings out and everything, so you guys can kind of see what to expect in your guys' box here. So obviously you're going to have the cab here. These are going to be for your cab, of course. And then these guys down here, the smaller ones here, you're going to have a 4025 and a 4026. These will actually be for your core support. Along with these two here, you're going to have a bunch of washers that come in your kit. You're going to have these two medium ones here. I believe these are 2.5 inch, 3 inch, and 1.5 inches, I think. But you're going to use both of these for the core support, like so. And then you're going to end up using two of these on the bottom side of the frame. I'll show you guys here in a sec, along with, of course, a sleeve per on the core support. We're really not going to get into the core support today. I'll mock them in there for you guys so you can kind of see, just because we don't have that core support ready to go yet, let alone do we want it there for the motor install. Well, that way you guys can get an idea. Of course, you're going to have the 4 longer sleeves. These will be for your main cab. These will be the ones that sit on the frame itself, and then these small guys here will be the ones that sit on the bottom side of the frame. Oops, yep. So those will be on the bottom side of the frame, along with a washer, of course. And then we're going to end up using our factory bolts, of course. Went ahead and cleaned those up. Those are ready to go. But let me show you guys what they look like on the frame itself. So as you can see, we got the back ones on here, and then you're going to put one of these bad boys on there, the 3 inch. One there, like that. Then another one here, like so. And then the last one there on that side. And then you're gonna have the core support. Again, we're not gonna do these today, but I just wanna show you guys. You're gonna have one there, and you guys can see we got the sleeves in there already. And these ones seem to be a lot more play in the core support. The other ones don't have any play in this one here. So just remember that. But yeah, pretty much like that. And then we can set the body on that. And then again, the other bushing will actually go on the bottom side of here, along with another washer, and then you'll bolt through that. But pretty simple, pretty easy. These are definitely a lot easier than the Chevelles. Big difference in the A body for sure, and a lot less of them. So they're actually not that expensive either, so that helps for sure. But don't worry about the bed. We're not doing anything with the bed anyways, not to mention the bed pretty much mounts directly on that thing. But now we can actually take this, slide it underneath the cab, or have the cab on top, I should say. But let me show you the cab. Look at that bad boy, fellas. Not too shabby, huh? Firewall is done, fellas. A little dusty, but it is right there ready to go. You guys can tell we definitely have not done the bottom of it, just because, again, we don't know if we got to cut that thing yet. And you guys can tell I kind of started sanding it down, getting all the dirt and stuff off of it. But Firewall looks good, guys. Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. But I am digging it. I am excited for that Firewall to be done. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and lift this thing up and see if we can get this chassis underneath. I went ahead and put the dollies back on the backside there because it's a little easier to maneuver the chassis that way. We got to manipulate it back and forth so that way we can line up those bolts. But if I'm being honest, I'm a little worried about the front because you can see where we have our mounting point for that freaking lift. And I really don't hope we hit that chassis. So hold on, stop, yep. Let me move this thing back. Hopefully we can clear. Give me a sec, fellas. I think we got it pretty close right now. I ended up having to remove that bad boy right there because it was just gonna hit. Let me show you guys. If you guys have a lift like this one, you probably don't, but that, oh, where it goes? There it goes. Down there, that thing slides out. I had to remove the screws though because that arm was just way too close. It was gonna hit, but I think we are pretty close. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to line up the back real quick and then work my way up front. All right, we are losing daylight fast, fellas. So I am trying to work as fast as possible. So I got them all mocked in. Everything nice and screws up just fine, just easy. And the best thing to do if when you guys are doing these, make sure you don't tighten any of them. Get them all started first. Make sure they're going in nice and smooth. If you need to clean your threads, make sure you guys do that. Either with the tap or just see if there's any just rust in there or anything like that. But make sure you guys clean your threads. But everything screws in nice and easy. We got them pretty much mocked in. Now we got the actual lift on the frame. So now we can go all the way up with the chassis and the cab and then show you guys underneath. And then we can actually tighten them as well. We got the cab and the frame now in the air. Man, we are losing daylight quick, fellas. I don't know if you guys can see any of this, but also you can tell, like I said, we've been cleaning the bottom of this thing, getting it prepped. And you can see, man, not a lick of rust. I'm gonna have to go get a flashlight for you guys. But let's go maybe up here. We can see it a little better. Let's see. You guys see that for the most part right there? Like I said, fellas, this thing, super rust free. No cancer whatsoever. But I like it, y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Now, problem with that I have, I'm gonna end up having to do this thing twice. Because again, this is mock-up only right now because we got to put the motor and trans in. Again, the 8 HP. I don't know what kind of tunnel clearance we're going to have. So we're going to mock that in hopefully soon. And then we'll know if we need to cut the tunnel up or not. And then we can actually finish the bottom of the truck. So that way that's all good to go there. One other thing I want to tell you guys is remember, you got to torque these things down. Again, we're not torquing them down. We're just gonna give them a good snug just because we got to take the cab back off still. But the body cab mount bolts are usually torqued down to 55 foot-pounds of torque. And then the, what's it called, the core support is 35 pounds max. So keep that in mind. But again, we're not doing that today. We're just, again, I just kind of did a good tight, basically good and tight German specs. Because again, we got to pull the cab off. So I think that's going to do it for this video, you guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. And stay wrenching.